morning, pups. It is Friday. I'm driving to work. First I have to stop at the post office though to drop off some candles and a pair of Mickey ears that were a custom order. So I'm really glad it's Friday, just because the way that I'm feeling right now, I don't want to be like anywhere near like people, but it's weird because I also want to be near people, because when I'm by myself, I think of things and I think of Millie and it makes me really sad, and I don't know, I guess I would rather be around people while I'm not working, so being at work is hard. I am happy though that it's Friday and then I have this whole weekend to kind of dedicate to working on crafts, which will keep me super busy. Next week is Wizard World, starts on Friday, so Friday I'm off work, so next week is a short week. I only have to work Monday through Thursday, and then I do Wizard World, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so that's exciting. Obviously it's Friday, so it is casual day, so I'm wearing actually the t-shirt that I got in DC. I'll have to show it to you guys later, but it says "Not So Secret Service." I don't know why I thought it was so funny, but I was like, I need this shirt. Well, we've reached the end of the work day, so the weekend is finally here, which is super great. I have to run to Michael's again for the second time this week, and then I have to go home, and Christine will be home around 7, and she asked me if I wanted to go to Target with her and get dinner, so I'll be doing that. The weather doesn't look too great. Like, it kind of looks overcast, but also like a hint of not bad. I haven't had any alerts saying that it's gonna rain, so I guess, you know, it's kind of just like a wait period and see if it rains or not. But other than that, it is really hot in my car. I just realized I'm turning on the air, and I'm gonna drive home like normal. I can never go to Michael's and just get what's on my list. Like, I always have to go to Michael's and buy like a ton more things than I needed. Like, I'll be walking down the aisle and I'll be like, oh, I want to make that, or oh, I want to try to make this, and then I'll like buy all of the supplies to make like one idea that pops in my head, and I end up spending like $1 million. The lady was really nice though, and she gave me like a ton of extra coupons, and there was a sign on some of the paintbrushes that said 50% off, but when they rung up they weren't 50 off, and I was like, wait a minute. So I let her know, I'm like, hey, those are supposed to be 50% off, and I guess they're not supposed to be. The sign was left on the display from like a post sale, so she was like, we'll go ahead and give it to you 50% off. So I was like, oh my god, thank you, because I wouldn't have bought them if not. They were way too expensive. I don't like buying paintbrushes because they're so expensive and they fall apart. So, oh my gosh, look at those clouds right now. Those look crazy. Don't those clouds look really crazy? Like, I don't know, is it just me? So I have to say, one of the most difficult things that I'm dealing with right now, aside from not having my best friend anymore, because Millie was my best friend, so aside from not having her around, one of the hardest things that I'm dealing with is the lack of responsibility. Because when you have a dog, you have a lot of responsibility. I mean, it's definitely spoken for responsibility, but it's also unspoken responsibility. Like, it's almost like having a child in a sense, because it was just ingrained in me that like, if I'm out, I can't be out a certain amount of time because I have to be home to let Millie out, and she has to eat 2 times a day at certain times, and I have to be there like within a couple hours to take her to the bathroom, and you know, I just didn't like to go out very much if that meant that I was going to be away from Millie for a certain amount of time, or you know, long periods of time. And I always felt such guilt when I went on vacations because I had to leave her with family members, and you know, it's really like having a child. Like, you just feel like you're there for them, but it's not something that's like I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like, I just knew that like with having her, it was my responsibility to take care of her. Now that she's not here, I find myself like saying, oh, well, I can't run errands too long because I have to get home to take Millie out, or oh, I can't go over to Christine's house because, you know, I don't want to leave Millie alone. And then I'm like, oh, never mind. And it's really hard. Like, that responsibility like is something that you also grow to love because you care so much about that pet. And to me, I've said it before, I'll say it again, Millie was a person. She was a person to me who I was best friends with, and it's just really hard to not have her around now. And I have to say, this week has been like insanely hard, but I've had awesome people around me and even not around me who have reached out and just showed their support, and it's been a lot easier to deal with these people. And you guys too. You guys have been so supportive on Twitter and on Instagram and even on the video comments. Like, you guys have just been awesome, and I can't say thank you enough because you guys are just helping me. Like, it sucks. It really sucks. And it's just one of those things. When you own a pet, you know it's inevitable. I mean, we're all gonna die someday, and though we don't want to talk about it because it's so difficult, like, it is a part of life, and it just sucks. Like, it rips your heart out, and it feels like someone is just stepping on it and tearing it apart, and there's nothing you can do. So I'm just trying to get through one day at a time with the hope that it will slowly get better. I don't expect to ever fully recover. I think that I will just learn to, like, live with it and learn to cope with her not being around. And I don't want to get over her because she was my best friend. She was my dog for 15 years. I've had her longer than half my life. I'm 27 years old. I had her for 15 years. So if I were 30, I could say I've had her half my life, but I've had her for longer than half my life. And that is crazy to me. So I just miss her so much. I just really miss her.